Faith of Our Fathers was released in 2015. This is directed by Carey Scott, written by Kevin Downes, Carey Scott, Harold Yule and David A.R. Whyte, with a cast including Kevin Downes, David A.R. Whyte, Stephen Baldwin, Candace Bure and various others. And I watched it for Candace Bure, and I felt like it could go either way for me, and unfortunately I didn't really like it. I don't like the method of storytelling. But that being said, I don't agree with IMDb. IMDb currently has an overall rating of 4 out of 10. That's across 800 reviews and ratings, a satisfying 800 on the dot reviews and ratings. So not the largest pool of opinions, but enough to say that it's maybe not the most well received. But I actually think if you can relate to the characters, and I'll talk more about them in a moment, I think it could actually be a really powerful experience. So for the average viewer, I don't think it's that great. But if there's an element of relatability, I think there could be some really big takeaways from it. This is about 2 sons of 2 men who fought in Vietnam. And this is their current stories, the stories of the adult sons, and also their father's stories in the 60s when they were fighting in Vietnam. And the flashbacks, when we go to Vietnam and get to know the fathers, they're handled well enough, but I find them to be quite jarring in general when they're very frequent. That's not unique to this film. In general, I think flashbacks can be very difficult to get right in film. I think they can be done too frequently and become annoying, or they're done so infrequently that they don't serve any real purpose. And I feel like here, they just weren't handled as well as I think they could have been, but they're certainly not the worst, and the actual content of the flashbacks is not bad at all. So as long as you don't mind the flashbacks, it could be okay. They do serve a purpose, but it's not my preference when it comes to storytelling. The characters are likeable enough, but I didn't really care for anybody, and that meant that I wasn't necessarily feeling any emotional connection with them. And I think this could be a really emotional film. Again, if there is an element of relatability for you, I think it could be quite strong. I would still say that the method of storytelling maybe isn't the strongest, but if you can relate to the characters, I think you'll have bigger takeaways than I did. But I also don't think it was as uplifting as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be quite a heavy story with a lot of reminiscing, a lot of learning about characters' histories, but with moments of hope and uplifting moments. And that's not to say there are no lighter moments, but for me, it just didn't really have the right balance either, especially given the title, Faith of Our Fathers. It sounded like it was going to be full of faith and hope, and again, there's some of that, but not to the extent that I was hoping for, or indeed had expected. Some good camera work, good lighting, some good use of sound. It's maybe a little bit dull here and there, but the narrative, it delivers. It works well enough if you don't mind that method of storytelling. And if you can connect with the characters, if there's an element of relatability, it could be a strong experience. But for me, while I don't think it's as bad as clearly what some people think, I didn't really care for it. I don't think the balance is right. Faith of Our Fathers just didn't work very well for me personally.